Okay. I'm kind of shooting this later in the evening. It's starting to get a little dark, so that might be part of the reason for the lighting being extraordinarily worse than usual. But I wanted to show you what I've been working on today. And let's see. I think I left you with this version of the chair. And realizing that I really don't have to put that angle in there if I don't really need to. I still think I want to though. And then realizing too that because the back piece has some tabs on it, that the tabs were showing here and I didn't like it, so I added a little piece in here to disguise that. So that's another thing I need to remember. Now, the one that I did today is this one. Again, I've got the same measurements for everything, and you can see here I didn't cover up the tabs, but you can also see that I made a change to the cushion, because if we look here, you can see here this one is a 45-degree angle and this one is a curve. I don't know how much of a curve, don't ask me, I don't do math. So that's what I've been working on today, and I wanted to make sure I got this pattern piece solid for what I wanted to do. Now you can see that I've got an ottoman here, and this is the piece that I'm taking out. Kind of looks like a little I don't know, it's a block, it's a candy bar, no, it's a fig Newton. That's what it reminds me of, a cookie. Reminds me of a fig Newton. But you can see here what the basic piece looks like. It's not outrageously exciting. And you can see I've added the curves in again, but made them the same size curves, just like in this version where I've got the same size. Now I made, you guys know me, I made a couple of versions. Pardon, my cough has returned. I'm still taking my meds for it. So anyway, this was actually the first one that I tried, and I didn't like it at all. So that's why it's got number 1 on the bottom, and I chucked it. Then I tried making the cushion for it, and I made this one too big. So that's why that's in my hand. And even before making this one, I made this one. And then I realized that if I put this here, then you wouldn't really see the side of it, or the little curve. So I made a much slimmer one. It looks like a little pizza box, and that'll work for something that small. And that's about 5 millimeters. So that's probably about as small as I can get for something like this. So I have this in my back pocket. I can use it for something else. But I really wanted to give this a try. So there's a curve on both sides, and you can see where, if I can get that to focus, you can see where it's cut there and cut there. The pattern piece looks, well, how shall I want to back this up again, because I never can tell anything straight. This is the first one that I made for this cushion, and you can see it's just the same as the waterfall. So I'm like, okay, I can do that. That's not a problem. It's just figuring out what the measurements are and what the sequence of construction will be. And I don't have to pay loads of attention to this side. There's a little indent here, and this can be a little messy, and because it's all going to get glued, you know, just shoved in and glued anyway. So I thought I would do the one with, I'm just calling it the inside cushion for the seat. And you can see here, it's got 2 little wings here. These pieces, this is the bottom piece that flips up, and this is the piece that wraps around. I went ahead and I've been being really careful with these curves and making sure that I measure from this line. Let me see if I can get something a little bit more pointy here, so you can actually see. From this line right here, I measure down 5 millimeters, and from this line I measure out 5 millimeters. So I'm getting the same, and when I make my cuts, I make the cuts the same length all the time. Then I used a, got this for like 50 cents. It's the best measuring tape I've ever had in my life, and I love it because it's all metric. And I measured this to this, and it is 9 millimeters. So what I did was from this point right here where the 5 begins to this point here is 9 millimeters, and then I added on the 4.8 centimeters that goes here. Hopefully this will be correct. I just finished up doing these drawings because I didn't want to like make sure, I wanted to make sure I had things as neat and tidy as possible. So there's that one, and then the one for the cushion that looks like the Fig Newton is a little more complicated. Kind of looks like a flower, and you can see again, I've measured 5 centimeters up in these portions, and then the sides are 1.4 centimeters. This is the bottom, which is 3.9 by 4.9. And I've given them some bigger tabs, but I've added the curves on both sides. So now all I have to do, and actually this went together way easier than I had anticipated. I did put some carton board in each end, and what that does is it comes out about 2 millimeters, and it's just enough to put some glue on, and it'll hold the paper in place. So I'm really pleased with how that came out, and then in turn how it looks for the final piece. So this is more along the final design that I want. But, you know me, I can't leave well enough alone. So I made the final, this is the inside of the chair. I went through and did another hardcore drawing, like expertly measured of what the ottoman looks like. And you can see how simple it is. This is just cut, folded on the lines, flip, 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 and it comes together. So for the chair, I did make some changes. So you can see it. I'm going to see about adding, sorry, I've got glue all over me, my hands look gross, and it just bugs me when that stuff is stuck on there. So you can see here, I've added tabs onto the back of the chair instead of this back portion. I'm not sure this is going to work. I do have photographs and drawings of the others, like over here. I think I'd use these as for tracing, so you can see what these pieces look like. This is what it looks like here without the tabs, and then you can see how the tabs bend in and fix on there. Now here's my rationale for doing this. When I was looking, okay, it goes back to this piece. When I was attaching this extra piece in to cover up that tab right here that I didn't like, I realized that I couldn't necessarily do that with this one because the piece is more complicated. There's a curve on it, and that kind of was like, ugh. But I hate this more. I love this, and I hate what this looks like. So a slight modification is going to be needed. Now, the reason for doing it this way is because the tabs now will fold in here. They will fold in towards the back. It is a much easier fix to have a new piece of paper go over, or a new something that goes in here and covers this up, than on this side, because I'd have to fiddle with this. So that's the reason. I mean, right here I can basically make another pattern piece that is simply, I need to measure down from center to see how far it needs to go down, and then cut it off, and it's another pattern piece that's got something on it. So while you can do this piece in 1, 2, 3 pieces, back, sides and middle. And I, you know, this is a perfectly versatile, you know, worthwhile little chair to make. I really wanted the curve. And yeah, I got to complicate things more because that's what I do. I climb right in and just absolutely complicate the crud out of everything. So that's where I'm sitting right now with these pattern pieces, and I've taken photographs, and then tomorrow I'm going to start laying in line work for these and see what I can come up with. Because I'm not sure what I'm going to do on these side pieces. I mean, this line right here is only here because I need it for these points here. These lines are only here for that as well. I'm not sure how I'm gonna decorate it. I have some ideas of what I'd like to do. I mean, and I have ideas for. Do I have one here that doesn't have? Nope, they've all got their bottoms glued in. I've got some ideas too for ones that I would like to do without gluing in any kind of cushion part here and using fabric or felt or something like that. But that is off in the future. And right now, I am getting very hungry because it's getting close to dinner time, and the light is completely gone. And I need to let you guys go. Thank you for sticking with me, patrons. Hopefully I will have, this is a pretty easy, pretty simple piece that you can pop together pretty quickly. I'll see about having just some versions that you can download with the squares in place instead of the curves, just so it looks nifty next to each other. So I will see you in the next video.